To today's stream. Go ahead and post and let everybody know I'm live. Oh, dang, that sucks. Man, that sucks. Alright, let's go ahead and get into this stream. Start this game. I actually like playing Mass Effect. Mass Effect is actually good. This game came out last year. It doesn't even seem like it. At least the remastered one. I thought this came out like a few years ago. Alright. They give me this sniper rifle. They wouldn't like. So I want like an assault rifle of some sorts. Who's shooting? I do this mission already? They have me doing it again? What's up, DK? Let me back up a little bit. Days I'm gonna have bread. I don't know. Like, maybe if I was into cooking, I would have the patience for that, but Since I'm not, I've been an impatient person. I'm like, nah, I gotta get my bread now. And knowing me, I mess around, mess up ingredients, be like, dang, now I gotta start all over.
Destroy the entire colony. Leave no evidence that we were here.
Like bread is one day. Yeah, I think I'd do that. Sourdough. Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely be doing some. Yeah, the white bread. Nah, yeah, that's. I'll wait a day. If I can't wait a day, then yeah, I'm going to the store. It's probably good though to know that type of stuff, so it's like just in case there's like ever a bread shortage, then get ingredients, make your own bread.
Demolition charges. The Geth must have planted them.
Hurry! We need to find them all and shut them down.
I honestly do not remember this mission. At least they give me enough time to do it. Most games have been like, nope, you got 10 seconds. That's how that calls. Just because it's a flower, you just have to be inactivate it, which is why it's good to know in case there's ever food shortage. Bread and rice will save your life. Yeah, yeah, it's always best to know, like, to at least like be able to cook the basics. Dang! It's all so aggressive for. First attempt is big, but it still tastes good. Yeah. There we go. I forgot that's not reload. Wait, what do we do now? What is that, like a frisbee? You make it the first time, save half, feed it later, make more, cut in the process for 8 days or 2. Okay, okay. Watching this, like, come time where I do actually want to go do this, I'm gonna forget all these things that you telling me, so that's why I'm glad YouTube exists. It's like YouTube, dude, YouTube didn't exist, I've been like, I had to save this stream, save this part. Chef John's recipe, yeah. Yeah, I just watch like Gordon Ramsay videos. It's like whatever he yells at those guys for, I'm like, okay, do the complete opposite. You have to know your way, science behind bread making, because it's chemistry. Yeah, I imagine all the stuff that you were just saying that you had to do to it. So it takes 8 days to make. Yeah, it ain't gonna be no easy and simple food to make, so.
Normandy, the beacon is secure.
This is
Request
amazing.
immediate
Actual working Prothean technology. Unbelievable.
It wasn't doing anything like that when they dug it up. Something must have activated it.
Roger, Normandy. Standing by.
She gonna get close. And they ain't even like trying to look, and it's like this girl about to die. Save your life food. Yeah, potatoes, yeah, I would imagine.
No, don't touch it.
Yeah, potatoes, that's something that's like, it's like a lot of those like foods that you like either like have to make or like grow from the ground. I do feel like that always it's like like fruits, vegetables, all that stuff. So zombie apocalypse happens, I already know what type of foods to go after. How many achievements are in this game? Because I imagine it's gonna be a lot. 127 achievements, dang.
The Normandy, a human alliance vessel. It was under the command of Captain Anderson. They managed to save the
Yeah, let me go
colony.
ahead. Oh, I have to. Dang, why is game's up? Hold on. Because that might start messing up my stream. I'm like, I ain't trying to have a deal with all that. So, turn that stuff in.
May have
All right.
used it.
Fine. Or yeah. Well, I know it was like that's why I worked in the food industry for a little bit when I was working in Seattle.
Dr. Chakwas.
So I know some things, but not a whole lot. That's what I should start watching. I should start watching like survival shows.
You had us worried there, Shepard. How are you feeling?
How did I end up here? How long was I out?
About 15 hours. Something happened down there with the beacon, I think.
It's my fault. I must have
Life
triggered
of
some
Boris
kind of
has some
security
struggle
field when I
meals.
approached
Dang.
it. You had to push me out of the way.
You had no way to know what would happen.
Actually, we don't even know if that's what set it off. Unfortunately, we'll never get the chance to find out.
The beacon exploded. A system overload, maybe. The blast knocked you cold. The lieutenant and I carried you back here to the ship.
I appreciate it.
Physically, you're fine. But I detected some unusual brain activity. Abnormal beta
Potato, bright
waves.
onions, carrots.
I also noticed an increase in your rapid eye
Yeah.
movement. Signs typically associated with intense dreaming.
I saw...
Is that baloney?
I'm not sure what I saw.
Is that how you spell baloney, or is that supposed to be something else?
Nothing's really clear.
Okay.
I
That's
bet
such a
that's
weird
very
way of spelling
unfortunate.
baloney. It's like you think it's something else, but then it's like,
How's our XO holding up?
because I see that, I'd be like, if I saw that for the first time, it's like it's so weird. Like that says Bologna. Like that's what that says.
In private.
It's like that's not baloney. It's like it might be baloney in Spanish, but that's Bologna.
Sounds like
Exactly.
it's pretty hard, Commander. Are you sure you're okay?
I'll live.
I won't lie to you, Shepard.
That's a much more better way of spelling it.
Nihilus is dead. The beacon was destroyed and Geth...
Watch, there's probably people out there that calls it Bologna because they want to be different from everybody else, so they like arguing with people.
The Geth would have wiped out the whole colony if I hadn't stopped them.
I'll stand behind you and your report, Shepard. You're a
Go out to
dedicated-
Safeway. Can I get Bologna? But what? Bologna. I don't know what that is, homie.
Saren's a specter.
I was like, we got balloons and we got like some pills. I mean,
He's gone rogue.
I don't know what you overall asking for.
Spectre's trouble. Saren's
Like
dead.
oh yeah, I had a teacher. He would do that. He'll call it GIF instead of GIF. I'm like, bro, it's just gift without the T. It's GIF. I don't know where GIF came from.
But it had something to do with that beacon.
And the funny thing about it is that he'll go to a place to say Jiffy Lubes, spells it just like how it's supposed to be spelled. But then he'll go to like, you know, or then he'll say Christmas gift, says Christmas gift. He get to that one word and just calls it GIF. And it's like, bro, come on, man.
Just before I lost
That teacher was so weird. I honestly think he faked a car accident so he could retire early.
A vision. A vision of what?
I saw synthetics. Geth, maybe. Slaughtering people.
I honestly think he did. His car accident just didn't make any sense. That dude swerved off the road and broke all his bones in his body, and I'm like, that just doesn't make any sense. The amount of times I've slipped and fell, maybe I don't know. Maybe he just got like a super old like body or something, but that dude looked like he could have probably been like maybe what, 60s, 70s, like probably like late 60s the most.
What are we gonna tell him? I had a bad dream?
We don't know what information was stored in that beacon. Lost Prothean technology, blueprints for some ancient weapon of mass destruction, whatever it was. Sarah took it. But I know Sarah. I know his reputation.
How many bad teachers have I had? I have to say I had at least like one every year. Like every year throughout, like, you know, from kindergarten. Well, not so much kindergarten, because, well, actually, no, I take that back. There were some teachers that was kind of questionable. But I have to say probably at least like one every year. There was always that one teacher where I'm like, why did you become a teacher?
Almost anything. That's why we need the council on our side.
We prove Saren's gone rogue, and the council will revoke his Spectre status.
I'll contact the ambassador and see if he can get us an audience with the council. He'll want to see us as soon as we reach the Citadel. We should be getting
3
close.
total. Yeah.
Head up to the bridge and tell Joker to bring
Yeah,
us
even
to the
that
top.
teacher I said that faked his car accident. He wasn't bad, but I remember I kind of thought differently of him when I remember it was like student late conference. I'm like, fam, like, I can't help it if I have friends in the classroom. Like, we gonna crack jokes and have fun. I remember it was student late conference day. And I was supposed to, and the funny thing was, just like right afterwards, I was going to go to GameStops and get Battlefield 3, because Battlefield 3 had just came out. So I go to his class, and he was just like, oh yeah, you know, Tyler's a straight A student, does well, because it was a computer class. So I'm like, of course I'm going to be good at a computer class. And then he goes and was just like, oh yeah, but he likes to have a little bit too much fun, cracks jokes a lot, starts saying all these other different things. I'm like, yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you're okay, Commander.
So like, thank you for trying to get me in
Good
trouble.
news after what happened to Jenkins.
Jenkins was a valuable part of this crew.
Part of me feels guilty over what happened. If Jenkins was still alive, I might not be here.
You're a good soldier, Williams. You belong on the Normandy.
Thanks, Commander. I appreciate that.
Things were pretty rough down there. Are you okay?
I've seen friends die before. Comes with being a Marine. But to see my whole unit wiped out, and you never get used to seeing dead civilians. But things would have been a lot worse if you hadn't shown up.
We couldn't have done it without you, Williams.
Thanks, Commander. I have to admit, I was a little worried about being assigned to the Normandy. It's nice when someone makes you feel welcome.
I think you're gonna fit in here just fine, Williams.
Thanks, Commander.
She kind of looked like she done did some stuff too. Like, we both look like we done did something. Just look way too suspicious. I had a math teacher who didn't teach. She just read off the book, never looked at the students. Went to a one-on-one help session and she just said, okay, see why it's wrong? I'm like, no. Then she goes, okay, it's the first step. Now, what, like, Google help me? Yeah. No, I had one teacher. He was my math teacher. I honestly think that dude had like a sleeping disorder, like narcolepsy or something. Because that teacher, he'll fall asleep like right in the middle of class. And his was like so delayed. You know how like most people that have narcolepsy, they just like on, like, they'd be wide awake, look like they didn't drink like 2 Red Bulls, sleep. That dude, his was like, he was trying to fight it, but he was just losing. Like, his narcolepsy, like, came from Mike Tyson or something. I remember one time he was, like, talking to us, walked out the classroom, still talking to us, and then walked back in and was still continuing on his conversation. I'm like, what is this guy's issue? I think either I don't know what happened to him. I think he ended up getting hired on at another school, but
good timing, Commander.
I was all like, that guy, man.
See that taxpayer money at work.
He was all right, but he still was just, I was like, I don't think being a math teacher, I'm like, maybe if there was a sleeping class, I'm like, then I think it would be okay, but since there ain't no sleeping class, bro, I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have no class, or you just like, at least be more active. Like, be like a PE teacher or something. I think if I could be any teacher, I think it would be like a PE teacher. Take a media class, and we frequently talk about the media negatives and how they influence the world. She's a feminist, so anytime I mention sexualization of men in the media, she was like 9:30.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying, you need firepower too.
You don't, yeah.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what class. I remember it was just a speech and debate class, and it was, yeah. So, Lil Razor, yeah, it was this speech and debate class. It was a lot of stuff that went on in that class, from like me getting into it, but it was like at the end of the day, like we was chill with each other, but except this one kid, he was freaking weird. He was like the only kid that had issues with everybody. I was like, maybe if you stop doing that freaking Naruto run after school, running home looking weird, I'm like, yeah, maybe you wouldn't be having, you know, bad interactions with people. It's like, you can't, I think I remember there was a time where I did bring that up in class, because he said something about, like, me not being good at speech and debate. And I was like, well, at least I could run home normally, so.
The council would step in if the Geth attacked a Turian colony.
That was Mass Effect. I played 1 and 2, so, I don't know, playing it all over again, I don't remember too much, but it seems cool. It seems cool.
What about Saren? You can't just ignore a rogue Spectre. I demand.
But yeah, that kid, he always would like try to say something, make somebody feel like that, you know, they're not smart or they're not doing stuff correctly.
We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing.
It's like, remind me again, who runs with their arms all the way behind them, like they in some anime?
I see you brought half your.
Like, raise your hand, anybody runs like that. Nobody? Alright, cool.
In case you had any questions.
I have the mission.
Scientists to talk about how male rappers were sexist in the 90s. I fully analyze the songs. Child isn't like that. There are a ton of songs that are good, not sexist, like Independent. She gave me a 15. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, that's a class where I'm like, I don't know. I think I might end up playing CarX, because they just got me answering questions. I'm like, but yeah, I was all like, that's crazy. Teacher like that, I've been like, okay, I'm like, you're listening to the songs that have that, but there's songs like you just said, there's songs out there that don't have that. I've heard songs out there where it's like the one song, and I probably have to say that's probably one of the, like, the best songs of the 90s. I mean, it's a sad song, but Brenda's Got a Baby. That's not sexualizing women. That's like, if anything, that's showing like the stuff that women had to go through the, like, I mean, throughout any point in time. There's an update Modern Warfare and they fixed some of the problems. Yeah, I deleted that game. I was like, I ain't even fooling with that game no more, so. Because I tried playing it the other day and it was acting like it wouldn't let me play, so I was like, forget it. She opened out with trash talk Eminem because he had songs talking about beating women. I'm like, nah, listen to that. Yeah. It's funny though, they say Eminem, he got sued by his, I think it was either his middle school or high school bully. He's been dyslexic for a while. That's an odd way of describing it, but alright. But yeah, that, yeah, I was like, that, I don't know, that teacher, that's a teacher where I'm like, look, don't, you know, have us do an assignment if you're gonna get mad and give us a bad grade. Like, at the end of the day, you say you want us to do the assignment. I'm doing it. If you're going to give me a bad grade because you don't agree with it, I'm like, fam, you shouldn't be a teacher. I went to the principal on her. I 100% would have went to the principal on her. I'm like, I did the assignment, I did the work, and she gave me a bad grade because she didn't agree with it. It's like, and especially like with that, there's no right and wrong answers. It's like, if it's a media class, I'm like, what is right and what is wrong in the media? Because I'm like, you need to tell us that beforehand and then have us do the assignment. It's like, teach us. But at the same time, it's like, if it's something that, you know, you're saying one thing thinking that we're supposed to believe it, it's like, yeah, I think she overall, I feel like that was a class that she chose. That wasn't a class that was like assigned to her. She chose that class because she knew she was going to just be trashing on people in that class. I was like, yeah, let's, and I don't know, like, because I think that song, I can't remember when exactly that song came out, but I do remember there was a song that Eminem did where he was like, I think it was like an apology song to his mom, because I know him and his mom kind of had like a rough time when he was growing up. I was like, yeah, oh yeah, don't talk about that song, don't talk about the song where he wanted to, like, you know, end rap beefs and stuff. Yeah, just talk about his comedy music. It's like, yeah, forgetting the fact that, you know, he has I think, yeah, throughout his whole career, his daughter got, like, born, like, when his career was starting off. So I'm saying, like, the stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know. You know, I love being in that class, because me and that teacher, it had been a show every single day. In the video games, you have to talk about how women were sexualized, like GTA, and how black people were stereotyped. And I was like, this ain't true. First off, Laura Croft. Secondly, Borderlands has black main characters. You could play as Last of Us as a female character. Final Fantasy, a trio female game, one of the mini games series. So yeah, video game talk. Oh, I would have loved being in that class. Kids would have showed up and been like, oh, yep, we already know Tyler gonna set it off in this class. Or 2000 where she was like, oh, this is very interesting. I learned a lot. 30 out of 30, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, because she's the type where she says something, and she's just saying because it's like the first thing. So, like, she probably did see, like, one video game where they were disrespectful towards women, and then that was it. And I can't remember exactly when they said they were gonna, but I remember them talking about that Rockstar Games saying that they wanted to have it where the main character was a woman. And I'm like, you can even play as women. I'm like, do you know how many? That's what I told her. I was like, especially if it had been during the time when Grand Theft Auto 5 was out. I'm like, fam, do you know how many times I was like robbed, shot, and killed by women in Grand Theft Auto 5? I'm like, if anybody is getting terrorized in that game, it's me. So. You know, just watch a video from the Sega Times, like, nah, you're yeah. She seemed like the type where she just took one too many L's in the video game. I'm like, she definitely wouldn't have survived in the Modern Warfare 2 era. That teacher had been crying every single day if she had to play a game of in Modern Warfare 2. Duke Nukem saying women were in distress. Yeah. I never really played that game. I just always saw, like, memes of it, but it's like, yeah, lady, I'm like, you can't make this assumption about, you know, stuff, and then you haven't played every video game. And besides that, there's probably so many other games. There was this one game where it wasn't even about, it was like, there was like a female character. She was the main character. That game is like called, what was that? It was like Hydro something. Hold on for a second. It was like an old like Xbox 360 game. I remember playing it. Here we go. Yeah, this game. This game is actually pretty good. She was like swimming around in water and stuff. She drowned up almost a bunch of times, but Yeah, I was like, I thought it was good. There's so many other games out there where it's like there's like main women characters and stuff, and then it's like also in like they're adding it to like games like Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and all these other games where you can like play as a woman. So I mentioned GTA said it's a toxic game. Pay prostitutes and kill them for money and run people over. I'm like, bruh, you can, but no one. Yeah, exactly. I've gotten to the point now in Grand Theft Auto where I don't even do that. Like high school or not. Well, no. Like elementary me, oh yeah, I was like public enemy #1 in that game. But as I got older, I was just like, nah. I mean, if they're walking out in the middle of the street, then I'm like, you know, my apologies, but yeah, I'm like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, lady, you honestly did not play the earlier Grand Theft Auto. Like before Grand Theft Auto 4. If when you did that, the whole prostitution thing in there, they just sat in the car. They didn't like do nothing. And I was all like, what? I thought I always found it funny. But yeah, there's always like gonna be somebody. She definitely would have hated Modern Warfare 2 when they did that no Russian level. And then people shot up that airport, and I was all like, I remember when people in that game, when that mission came out, everybody, but it's like, there's always going to be people out there that have something, like, you know, to say about video games. And like, she probably was like, get mad at Mario Kart, and like, oh, why does Mario have to save, what's the girl's name? Not Peach. What's her name, Peach? No, yeah, Peach, and then there was Daisy. I don't know why I got them confused, but so how come it can't be the other way around? I was like, bruh, like, look at what game you're trying to argue about. Yeah. It's like, look at what game you're trying to argue about. You're getting mad at a plumber saving some imaginary princess from a dinosaur. Like, it's like, my thing is this. I'm all for, like, women starting in video games, movies, you know, the WNBA players getting paid more and all that. But if I'm ever playing against them, I'm like, look, I don't care about none of that. I'm trying to win. So it ain't like a man thing. It's just that I'm competitive and I don't like losing. So I'm like, it is like, you know, my competitiveness is rated E for everyone. I feel like some people like, you know, misinterpret that and be like, it's like, oh, you got something. I ain't got nothing against nobody. I'm just competitive. It's like, you ask anybody that knows me. Don't go in the grass, don't go in the grass. Dang. Well, I got past gold, so I don't care. got like a C in that class. There was this one teacher that kind of reminds me of this one teacher I had when I was in high school. She overall would like. I don't want to say that it's true, but that's just what everybody, like, including girls that was in her class, like, but that's what everybody would say, was that, like, she, was attracted to, women, so any, like, guys that was in her classroom, she would just be, like, you know, extra hard on them for no reason. And when I had classes with her, I didn't really see that, like, she had her moments when she was just, you know, she was just being disrespectful, like, towards anybody. About to fail at me. Straight A's. It's like, nah, listen here, you gonna put this to the side and actually listen to what I have to see. Yeah. Yeah, but that teacher I had, she was this health teacher. I'll never forget when we was in class and she shows us this video, and I'm like, I don't know what this overall has to do with health, but anyway, she shows us this video of a car accident, and so you see this SUV like flipping across the freeway and stuff, and she points at this thing, because the video is pretty pixelated, but you just see like this like kind of like something like roundish like going across the freeway. She was just like, do you guys know what this is? And everybody in the class is like, no, like what is it? And she was just like, this is the person's head. She was just like, I guess their head got caught in the window and they was decapitated in the car accident. I'm like, why are you showing us this in a health class? Like, honestly, this person ain't got no more health. Their health is at 0, all right? They setting up a 6 o'clock appointment with Jesus and trying to figure out what they gonna do for eternity. Like, that person's dead. Like, why would you show us this? Like, I don't get that. But I asked her, I was just like, why would you show us this video? And everybody's looking like, yeah. It was like, what? And then she was just like, oh, well, that's today's assignment. Went on to some dumb stuff. I was like, okay, but that still didn't answer my question. Like, there was no reason to showing us that video. Like, you could have showed us any video. You know, there's millions of videos on YouTube health related. Like, you did not need to show us that. And then I remember she said that I wasn't going to pass her class because I didn't know how to use a blood pressure cuff. I was like, woman, 90% of the world doesn't know how to use a blood pressure cuff. I'm pretty sure there might be doctors out there where it's like, okay, yeah, of course they do. But they have machines for that. Like, you go in Walmart, you get your blood pressure taken right there in one of them little chair machines. Like, I ain't going to be walking around like, oh, yeah, somebody gets their head decapitated in a car accident. I'm like, oh, let me check their blood pressure. Like, who cares? Description, it says introduce the responded to me, guys. Responded to my post. Yeah, it's just always those like weird classes out there. But yeah, I told that teacher, I was just like, hey, look, just give me some tests, because I'm, you know, you gonna have to call my parents and tell them like, oh yeah, your son's not gonna graduate because he doesn't know how to use a blood pressure cuff. And I'm like, yeah, you see how that conversation goes. Not any old type of parents, black parents. I'm like, yeah, you see how far you get in that conversation. I don't think I had any other. She was probably, yeah, by far. Actually got 3.7 for that class. Yeah, I think for that health class I had I think I had a C. Yeah, I remember that was the one class I had a C in, because all my other classes I had A's and B's. It's 92. Yeah, I had like a 70%. I think I had like 60 because it was, you know, I'm like, Lay, you're not teaching nobody nothing. I'm like, we gotta just know, like, just put down on the paper like what we already know, because you're not teaching us nothing. So I think there was another health teacher. I was like, if I probably would have had that teacher, I probably would have had all A's and B's when I was in school. I was like 3 A's, 3 B's, 1 C. It's like all thanks to the health teacher of the year. Never taught us anything about health. Only showed us weird videos and movies and talked about the Seahawks. Another teacher class, we talked about immigration. He almost failed me because he didn't like the topic of my essay. I'm like, yeah, it's teachers like that. I'm like, you shouldn't be a teacher. I'm like, if that's what you are doing, failing your students because you don't like what they're talking about. I'm like, okay, well, it has something to do with the class, like. I think that's probably even more so a reason why I didn't go to college, because I was like, nah. All the teachers I had to deal with throughout school, I'm good. Said current immigration group, like it's current. He wrote it. He just says good. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Other than that, yeah, because that was my senior year. She was the only bad teacher I had. I'm trying to think what other teachers I had. Oh, I had this one history teacher my junior year. That guy, I remember he was the football coach. And so what was the situation? In the discussions, he gave me a 50% because he couldn't understand what I was saying. I'm like, bruh, it's like plain English. But I had this history teacher. He was like, so he told another teacher, it's like either another period teacher or something. So he told the teacher that has, I remember now. So he told this teacher that has some like stuff to do, and I guess I had to go past this class and pick it up. I did not know that, and so I go to that class, and then the teacher was just like, "Oh, did such and such give you some paperwork?" I was like, no, he didn't. Thinking I was just like, oh, he was supposed to like either come to a class or I didn't know the situation. So I guess she called him. Told him that, Tyler never got the paperwork. So I go into class the next day. He stops me. He was just like, Tyler, I need to talk to you real quick. I'm like, yeah, sure, what's up? So he was just like, now look, I don't like when people lie on my name and they tell people. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, first off, why is you getting loud? I'm all like, bruh, I'm like, you might be the football coach. You might put fear in the football players, but I'm like, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm like, there ain't even no reason for it. So I'm just kind of looking at him and stuff. And then, when he was done and over with yelling, I just laughed and walked off. I was just like, this dude crazy. I'm like, you sit here yelling at me over some paperwork and stuff. I'm like, how about you stop listening to baseball games in the middle of class, get up and actually teach the class, and don't have it where a college student has to teach us. It's like that kid, he got his own stuff to be worried about. Just need to be fired. Yeah, I was like, he was yelling at me in class, and then one of my friends was kind of like standing back, like listening and stuff. I just walked out the class laughing. I was just like, this guy's crazy. I'll never forget though, he came back. I guess it was they had like a bad football game. He came to school next day with a neck brace. I asked because there was a one kid on the football team. I asked him, I was like, what's wrong with him? And I was like, he was yelling so much, I guess strained out his throat or neck did something. I was like, can't be doing all that yelling. Tried to find that class of the media. I think she was removed. Yeah, she's out here grading. Dude, you probably wasn't the only kid she was like treating like that. Right there. It's all good, wholesome. What's up with you? To the dean. Yeah, it's like teachers like that. I don't know, like, I don't think all the teachers I ever had. I should have reported that health teacher. But I think though, if she wouldn't have graduated me because of that that blood pressure cuff thing, I definitely would have probably told my parents, told the principal, told every teacher possible. It's like even the pothead teacher, I told him. I didn't even have classes with him. Following that teacher, he supposedly faked his car to retire. No, because he retired. That dude disappeared. He probably was just like, nah, I'm getting my retirement money. I'm going to Hawaii. That teacher is probably like on an island, like chilling somewhere. He's probably at the Caribbeans, just relaxing. Either that or old folks home. But he's probably on an island chilling somewhere, if anything's. But yeah, he faked this car accident. They ain't even like suspected. Like, nah, he faked this car. Cause bro, he swerved off the road. Where he went into, it was like a minor ditch in a field. He hit no trees. He hit no rocks. It wasn't like no big like boulder type rock. That man just drove off in the side of the road, and you mean to tell me half his body broke? Like, what was it, under pressure? I'm like, fam, like, you can't get that bodily harm by that. I'm like, that just doesn't even make any sense. Unless he, like, after the car accident, he got out the car, and then he was just like, oh, I'm safe. And then, like, 10 dudes came up out the woods and jumped him, and I'm like, okay, well then, alright, then that makes sense, but I'm saying, like, bruh, I used to watch that one TV show, like, World's Wildest Videos, and all they would show is car accidents. I've seen even those videos on YouTube, car accident fails, or car accident videos, and then, or like, you know, just people not knowing how to drive and stuff. Every time when I see those videos, they show those people, they get into some crazy catastrophic accident. Car hits them, car be flipping. They just crawl out, be looking around like, oh my god, this is crazy. This dude swerves off in the road, and he's like some Final Destination stuff, like. He staged it. He honestly did. And plus where he was at, I remember the teacher, she showed us like a hospital photo of him. And was all like, oh yeah, this is Mr. I ain't gonna say his name, but anyways. She was just like, this is Mr. Such and Such. And I'm kind of like looking at the background. I'm about like, bro, that don't even look like a hospital. That dude looked like he's on the set for Young and the Restless. I'm like, that dude is not, no. He is not, he did not get into no car accident. Either he got jumped, or he got into an accident that he didn't want to tell nobody because it's embarrassing. Probably what it was. He probably, because I was like, that was another thing. I'm like, dude was kind of tall. And I know they said that, I guess, like, he had, I don't know. If he did, I'm like, he must have slammed his head into the windshield, but I highly doubt he was short enough to hit his head on the steering wheel. I'm like, then yeah, he forget, you know, all the other body injuries he's had. Appreciate the lurk, Addy. Appreciate the lurk. But yeah, that dude, his injuries just didn't add up with the car accident. Like I'm saying, like 10 dudes must have came up out that out the woods and jumped them. Wait, pause. What happened? It's 5:30. That's the A. You must have been sleeping good. You had one of those naps where you woke up thinking it was one day and it was still the same, like nothing changed. Oh, earphones, chorus, and mimic the breathing tubes. That's the thing, like, he didn't have any of that. He just had like some bandages. I think it was like, but and then that was another thing I don't remember about those photos. Where's the cuts? Where's the bruises? You have all these broken bones, but no cuts and bruises. You get into this crazy catastrophic accident, but no cuts and bruises. Like, nah, bruh. It's the first time I slept for that long. Yeah, that was a good nap. Back. It's the iPad playing YouTube. He probably did have that. I should have visited that guy in the hospital. They've been like, there is nobody of that name that came through here. I'm like, exactly. That man faked this car accident. I know when somebody's trying to retire early. It's just an odd way of doing it, but because I remember he was on vacation for the longest. And then when he was coming back, then that's when he got into a car accident. I'm like, it just so happened the day you coming back to work, you didn't crash. Not any other time when you was on vacation. It just so happened when you coming back to work, and then you get into a car accident. Not even with another car, like by himself. He didn't get hit by no car. He just drove off in the middle of the woods, and you know, I'm like, bruh, that don't make no sense. What's that one movie about that boxer? And they was like, he got into like a head-on collision with a car. Someone ran into my car and left. Pretty much. Pretty much. Extra snacks in his time. That's all. Yeah, that guy, nah. He just wanted to fake a car accident. I hate autocorrect. I was trying to respond, yeah, no, DK, I was trying to respond to your snap, and that mess kept saying, I was just trying to say I, that mess kept autocorrecting to the letter U. I'm like, if I'm gonna say U, I'm gonna put Y-O-U, not just the letter U. So I ain't gonna talk like I'm in middle school or something. I hate autocorrect. Autocorrect be having some dumb moments at times. Yeah, I only use it when I'm trying to figure out a word, and I'm like, dang, how I spell this word? Autocorrect don't know, so I'm like, damn, I gotta go to Google. Google don't know, so now I gotta rearrange my whole sentence. Hopefully you do feel better, Witchy. Just exactly, yeah, it's exactly DK. I'm like, look. I tried to spell this word. They were like, why did you spell out a whole sentence? You could have just said this word. I'm like, that's how you spell that word. I don't like how that car drives. That car feels weird. It just feels like too wobbly. Well, autocorrect, I know you just be trying to say one thing. That stuff start autocorrecting to other stuff. Now, with iPhones autocorrect, I like iPhones autocorrect. But Android is just dumb. You be sitting there arguing with it like, I don't want to say that. Like, stop autocorrecting to some stuff I didn't even ask for. Autocorrect is stupid at times. I'm like, how are you gonna be smarter than I? How is it that I gotta autocorrect? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I honestly should go up to the Android headquarters and be like, nah, we need to have a conversation, because something ain't adding up. Autocorrect learned. It hasn't learned my speech. My speech is English. That thing be saying some old weird stuff half the time. I'm like, what does this even mean? I love it. Yeah. Nah. Yeah, like Android. I know Android definitely ain't smarter than a 5th grader. They should have my phone go up against a 5th grader on that. Do they even have that show come on anymore? I feel like that show don't come on no more because I feel like a lot of people, they are like, dang. It's like, even though I graduated school, you mean to tell me I graduated with a 4th grade education? I know, it'll do stuff like that, and I'm like, fam, do you not know what the word have is? I hate when it does that. It's like the word have exists in the dictionary. It's like, why did you autocorrected it to, hey. Or if it's the other way around. And I'm like, man, it's stupid. Drink this onion tea for my cough. I hate onion tea? That's a thing? I say, bruh, nah, I'm good. I just continue having oxygen in my imagination, but I'm not drinking no onion tea. That's some stuff I'm like, that don't even sound right. Nah, I'm good. Apparently it's a home remedy. Nah, that's home torture. That's what that is. It's like, I have some onion rings at Burger King. And, you know, some tea drink on the side. But, yeah, that onion tea, that does not sound right. It's like, no disrespect to your sister. I'm pretty sure, you know, the onion tea is, you know, it's a good drink, but... So I would a lot, so I wouldn't do something. Autocorrect too would do something. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, autocorrect, that's some stuff. Actually, you gotta, like, travel back in time, figure out the person that created autocorrect, and be like, hey, if I say one word, don't change it to something else. I tell her that if she gives me it, I'm throwing it out the window. Exactly. No, rightfully so. I look my sister clean in her face and say, with all disrespect, I'm throwing that mess out the window. So. Of course you would. See, this boiled lemons with meat of the some raw honey. What? Oh nah, I don't know about that. I'm like, bruh, I just give me some vapor rub that across my chest and throat, and I'll be good. I'm like, you guys can do that. Shoot, I was a vapor rub kid growing up. You guys know that extra stuff. I was like, I'll get some vapor rub, rub that mess on my chest, rub it on my throat. I'm like, I'm good. Vapor rub was a lifesaver. That's one thing though, I feel like that is drinking water. I don't know. I ain't trying to jinx myself, but I feel like drinking water definitely is helpful. My mom put vapor rub in my nose. In your nose? My mom would put it like at that like the entrance part of my nose, but not like inside of it. Don't blow it out. Nah, I'm like, you trying to, that's suffocation. I'm like, I can't. Since 2016, yeah. I think last time I got sick, I think it was before 2020. I think I had kind of like a stuffy nose at one point in time, but that was about it. They rubbed my eye. Oh, I know you probably felt like somebody pepper sprayed you. Val was just probably sitting there just like, everybody's just kind of just sitting down watching TV. Val's like, my eye! My... It just scared the life out of everybody. My back, chest, neck, under nose, and in nose. Yeah, they put it under... My mom, she would put it under my nose. But in my nose? Nah, that's doing too much. Like, that's some stuff that'll cause me to sneeze. The funniest, though, was when I was sick and me and my family went to go see Shutter Island. Do you know how hard it is trying to hold in your cough in a movie theaters? Like, that is one of the hardest things ever. Then, like, when a loud scene happens, then you try, like, okay, like, I'm gonna cough. And, you know, all throughout the scene. Because there was a scene where a shootout had happened. Where they was, like, shooting some people. So I said, alright, cool, I'm gonna cough. As soon as I started coughing, the shooting stopped. I'm like, this is stupid. It's like, every time Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm just like, okay, he starts talking, I'm gonna cough. Then at times, I'm like, okay, I ain't got a cough. So, alright, I'm good. Sickness is over. And then there was a part in the movie where it kind of startled me. It was when the guy, he jumped out of the darkness, talking about tag, you're it. I wasn't expecting that. So, like, the jump triggered the cough, and then the cough just started, like, it went crazy. I was like, fam. It's like, I thought this was a movie about a man in an insane asylum. But yeah, I'm like, movie theater? I don't know. I've been wanting to go to the movie theater, kids. Amazed? I looked amazed, or like, did the thing look... I'm confused by the question now. That made you... Yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, bro, what is you talking about? The Amaze sees you. I'm like, who's Amaze? Like, that's my question. It's Following, you managed to catch it without thinking. Oh, like some like Bruce Lee, like, or some Matrix stuff. No, I've done stuff like that before. Yeah, I've done stuff like that or like dodge something. Like I remember this one kid. It was a couple of times when that happened, but somebody would like throw something at me and I just like would straight just do like some dodge. And I'm like, it was just instinct. DK, it was probably like some intense music just started playing. It's like, yeah, stuff like that happens and you just be like, what? Like, am I the one that's supposed to like lead this world and like into combat? Like, why? How's this reflex? How's this happen? Got it. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it was this kid. We were all playing like, it was like one of those like plastic balls because they wouldn't let us play like baseball with an actual baseball, so we had to use this plastic ball. And I remember it, like, the kid hit it, and it was a foul ball, and I just kind of, like, caught it and stuff, and was like, oh, okay. Everybody's kind of looking at me, and I just threw it back to the pitcher. I'm like, I don't know what that was, but... Am I gonna hit? Nah, I ain't gonna hit that. See what other games I can play. Did I download Dirt? No, I don't think I downloaded Dirt Rally. How long would that take if I were to? I can start up the game. They'll probably have it where I can only play like the not career, but whatchamacallit, like just a random mode. 17 minutes, dang, that's long. I don't want to wait 17 minutes. Like, what can I do or talk about for 17 minutes? It's not like going up and down, so it probably would be. Talk about the creation of popcorn. If I knew the creation of popcorn, I would, but like, I just felt like that they made the seeds, and then I feel like whoever like discovered like that's like the popcorn seeds can like pop into something. I know they had to been so confused. They was just like, bro, what happened to all those seeds I found yesterday? I saw this like white stuff. I didn't know what it was. The seeds are on the cob. Oh, are they really? Wow. I did not know that. Seed. It honestly, nah, it was some stuff where it was probably hot outside and they left the cob thing and then it just started popping and going crazy and they was just like, hey yo, what is that? Beans and tried to heat it up, then boom. I've been mad. I'm like, bro, I want my beans. Guess I'll go ahead and get this ready. I've been so upset. It had to definitely been like in the caveman days when they were like, they just was discovering a bunch of stuff. I know, right? They probably was just like, all right, let's just let that grow for a second, turn it around. So like, so you chasing these saber-tooth tigers today? All the cavemen just sit there, then all of a sudden that stuff just started going off, popping in things. They all just hit the deck because they're all like, I don't know what's going on. What is that? They're just like, well, we could eat the corn, so like, we should be able to eat that too, right? One guy's like, nah, what if it's poison? Like, we don't know what that stuff is. It's like, remember what happened to Eve? She ate that apple, now look. It's like, I don't want to eat that. The next thing you know, it's like, you know, the generations and generations of men, we all going through it. 2 hours later, there's like, hey, you know what? This stuff was actually good. We gotta get some more of this. Like, I think about it, I'm like, dang, being in the caveman days probably would have been torture. And like, you guys sit there and like chase down animals and stuff. I know they said saber-tooth tigers is no joke back in the day. I'm like, bro, I gotta fool around with stuff like that? Nah, I'm good. Check my phone real quick. Sure, humans had mega. That was all that running. I'm saying, yeah. If I was a caveman, I'd like they could do a marathon no problem. Bruh, I don't know, that you gotta stop involving weed in everything. Like, not everybody is like, you know, like, not weed doesn't have to be involved in everything possible. It's like, you always think like, oh, it's like, freaking Superman comes and saves the world. It's like, oh, I gotta smoke some weed. It's like, dinosaurs then came and started attacking all over again. I gotta smoke some weed. And it's like, bro, it ain't gonna help nobody. It's like, you involved, like, bro, we'll be in the middle of, like, combat, right? We'll be in the middle of war, shooting at whoever, and you all like, hey, like, real quick, light this up, go throw it over there, and then they'll get high. And I'm like, I probably, see, some stuff like that would have made me mad, and then I just slapped it out your hands, and then just been like, look, you just go over there, because you done threw me all out of concentration. I can't even think anymore. I'm out here trying to come up with a game plan to save the world. You out here thinking about like, oh, maybe if I get them high, then it can change things. Aliens come down, they're like, we want all your human blood and water. We all thinking of a plan like, okay, like, well, we have money, we have the resources, we have weapons. Wholesome's all like, hey, there's this marijuana growing in the backyard. Maybe we can, offer that and see if if that can help. Nah. Like, you thinking trying to get everybody killed. The alien? If it's some, like, 9-foot tall alien, I am shooting it. It's like, how do you distract it? It's, yeah, start, like, doing some old weird, like, yeah, just have, like, a bunch of kids start doing the Fortnite dance in front of the alien. They think they trying to do some ritual. I ain't jumped on his back. That thing done body slammed me because it's twice my size. So, it's like, yeah, if the dinosaurs sit there and mess with bit half your body off. Fireworks. I feel like aliens out, though. I feel like they would just look at it, probably walk up on it thinking, what is this? I mean, it could be a distraction, but I don't know. I'm one of those types, if I see something that's attacking and killing people, I'm like, I ain't gonna give it a chance to, like, distract it. I'm gonna just start shooting. If it's an alien, yeah, I ain't fooling with it. Because aliens seem... I feel like I hear that in the distance, start seeing some fireworks going off, and then you just hear, like, yeah, you just hear DK in the distance talking about giddy up, space dude. I'm like, yup, well, I'm like, if she comes back alive and she's alright, then cool, but if not, then it's like, we told her not to do it, so. Yeah, I ain't listening to you, Wholesome, when it comes to ideas, because your ideas is gonna get somebody killed. What's up, Lil Razor? This is a long 9 minutes. I mean, dang. Look, now it's going back up, and that's why it's freaking taking, so I knew it was going to do that. Yeah, like from the movie Alien. Yeah, because I'm like, what if they got like acid or something? Like their sweat is acid. Like, that's why I ain't even trying to like come near the alien. Well, no, it was like their blood that was acid, but still, I ain't fooling with no aliens. That thing getting shot. If I have a weapon and I know how to shoot, I'm shooting it. I ain't doing no distractions. If I see it, I'm shooting it. That's if it tries to, if it ain't like attacking me or anything, and it's trying to be cool with me, I'm like, alright, cool. You know, we just had this misconception of aliens where they think, oh, they're just gonna start attacking and killing people, but... Bruh, like I said, I ain't listening to you when it comes to ideas, bruh. Like the... what? Arcadia aliens? And yes, they would be friends. I gotta look that up. Oh, it's a movie. Yeah, it's like, is this Disney? No, it's like a Netflix. DreamWorks, yeah, them like Disney and DreamWorks and all that stuff. Yeah, they usually be having like friendly aliens, but if it had been them aliens from Signs, without questions, I'm blowing each and every alien's head off. That was the main reason why I did not like that movie. I'm like, where are these people's guns at? Why do they not have no guns? It was like, you had a cop. Where was the cops at? They just randomly start attacking Mel Gibson. I think the little boy was Macaulay Culkin's brother. The dude that played this Joker. Who is the girl? They think the girl, she's a famous actor too. She's played in some movies. I'm like, yeah, they just no guns, just water and baseball bats. I'm like, nah. I need a weapon that can shoot bullets. That's crazy to think, though, in that movie, Signs, they was all like the aliens. All you need is a water gun, and then that's it. Like, they're done for. It's like, that just doesn't even make any sense. Like, you came to a planet. I don't even get that. It's like, you came to a planet where there's more water than, like, you know, of the Earth part, and you still just, I don't even get that. Have an alien roommate or a demon alien roommate? I saw The Conjuring and all them scary movies, and I'm like, I ain't even trying to wake up. Next thing you know, I find myself hanging upside down. I'd rather for like, cause I feel like an alien, like, you know, like there's people that's like the alien movies where like if the alien's trying to kill me, then I'm like, I ain't gonna have no roommate. I feel like a demon roommate though, they've been doing some stuff. I'm like, nah, I can't approve of this. Play too many jokes. Yeah. What's up, Joey? Like that demon that was like messing with them guys and like, nah, Insidious. If there's it's either that or The Conjuring. I'm like, nah. I can't live with something that's like 10 feet tall, black with like red like things across. Nah, I ain't even fooling with that. Quick question. Got an answer for you, Joey. What's up? KFC or Popeyes? Popeyes. KFC, I don't know about them. Like, they have all that money to do them commercials, but they can't do nothing for, like, the quality of their food. Why Popeyes? I just feel like their food quality is better. You know, you don't see them coming out with a commercial every single day. It's like, they just come out with a simple commercial with that black lady, you know, and then that's it. KFC, they feel like they gotta do a whole movie and stuff, and it's like, fam, I mean, we focus on the food. DK is probably, I eat Popeye's biscuits for breakfast. I'm like, alright, so I will not make you mad of any sorts. Like, I will be your friend. I'm a peaceful person. It's like, wait, do you have them with a drink? No drink. Just Popeye biscuits straight. I'm like, yep, that's not human. That's kind of scary. Put honey with your chicken. I heard of it, but I don't do that. That's one of those food combos. It's like, I've heard of it, but I'm like, nah. I don't eat them often. I can't remember the last time I ate a Popeye's biscuits. I think once when all these memes started blowing up, I was like, nah. Something ain't right with them Popeye's biscuits if they ain't got turned into a meme. On the biscuit. Yeah, it's like, I see a lot of people. Even I remember at work. I think that's where I saw that too. People would do that at work. Because I remember when chicken sandwich thing was blowing up, we kind of had like our own spin of a chicken sandwich. Ketchup. I don't put ketchup on no biscuit. Biscuit wouldn't even taste right. Just to put mashed potatoes in my biscuit. See, that's normal. Because I see where people, I've seen that before. Like, Val, you might be black on the low. Because that's, you go to a black get-together, you're going to see that very often. The ketchup. Don't. Yeah, exactly. Church's, though, they hands down the worst chicken. Yeah, Church's chicken, I've heard some bad things about them. Church's, that's like one of those. I tell you, ketchup and eggs, I couldn't do it. Nope. Can't do it. Salsa and eggs. I see where people, they'll do that. They'll add, like, you know, some spice to their eggs, but not ketchup. Because it's like, there's nothing spicy about ketchup. It's just you adding, like, just a random sauce to the... Like, I don't get that. Like, the spicy stuff I can understand, but, like... Sweetness. It's just, nah. I don't get it. That's something where I'm all like, that's just uncalled for. Eating tomato like an apple. Who eats a tomato like an apple? Like, so eggs make me gag, so I gotta have it with either ketchup. I don't even. It's funny when people, they'll say stuff like that. I can't eat eggs, but eggs and ketchup? Oh yeah, sure. That's like my sister. She's like, she doesn't drink milk, but she'll drink strawberry milk. I'm like, it's still milk. Like, I don't get that. Like, I swear, people do some questionable stuff with food, and I'm like, you gotta sit down and think about that, but my milk's straight. Yeah, I'll drink a glass of milk, no problem. People think that that's weird doing that, and I'm like, it's not weird. I'm like, that's literally like, you add milk. It's like, you always, when you just taste like something about a certain food that has like milk as an ingredient, it's like, yeah, that's milk. But I'm like, yeah, it's like, I don't mind drinking milk straight. That, protein shakes. So when you add ice in. Yeah, I don't know nobody that adds ice to their glass of milk. I'm like, this ain't no alcohol beverage. It's literally a glass of milk. Like, tomatoes, I could eat tomato. Sauce and ketchup. You can't eat a tomato, yeah. I don't know. I think if I don't like one thing, I'm not gonna like nothing from it. I'm like, the whole family is cut off. I can't, you know. So if I don't like tomatoes, that means I ain't gonna like the sauces or anything else. So I used to go to that had a milk dispenser, and the milk was always ice cold. It's good drink, cause yeah, I'm like, unless you're like, you was born like a month ago, that's the only reason why you should be drinking warm milk. It ain't even warm. It's like, it's hot. It's formula. But if you drinking warm milk as an adult, I'm like, nah, you just, your first and last name, your first name is Ted, your last name is Bundy. So everybody realizes, I don't even get some, they eat a whole tomato just by, like, I don't get that. Till the age of 11. I always drink my milk cold. Always. I don't know how I was when I was a baby, but I just always, as far back as I can remember, I'll always drink my milk cold. Straight from the refrigerator. Trouble sleeping, please. I have trouble sleeping. I take, what's that, there's like this like muscle melatonin pill stuff. I take that. I'll be having like some weird dreams when I take it, but it'll put me to sleep. That melatonin stuff ain't no joke. It's just 5 grams of pure melatonin, and I'm like, huh, alright. It's like, not everybody smokes weed. I thought I told you that numerous times. Like, you know. Wholesome's the type of person, he stands out in front of, you know, I like those people stand out in front of high schools and they be like, don't have sex before marriage, or all these other different things. Wholesome's all the way at the other end of the school, all like, go down to the dispensary and buy you a bag of weed. What other games? Dang, it's like all these updates. How long is this update? It better not be that long, because I'll straight up pause it. Yeah, to go to sleep. Nah, not me. Because my thing is this. I have a cough attack. I am wide awake. I am wide awake. That thing ain't even pausing, popping up or doing nothing. I'm just going to play the game. Yeah, I did get a couple of those. I know milk actually has water in it. It don't surprise me. Why is this game not starting up? I don't get why it's like, oh yeah, games like, you know, games work perfectly fine. Like, but take game and start, like, dang, just start up. It's probably a sign. That's not. It's like, nah, I agree. It's probably a sign. Probably I shouldn't be playing this game. It's like after EA Games bought Codemaster, or just all EA games is just, or Codemaster games is just dog water. How does my character only have 300 credits? Like, dang, is he paying taxes or something? Why is my character broke? I be watching videos of like legitimate rally racing. Them guys be crashing way too much. I'm like, bruh.
Good luck.
Passenger, I told him, I'm like, look, bro, you gonna have to be quiet. I can't have you doing all that talking. I'm trying to drive.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 50, 6 left of a crest. Into 6 right of a crest, extra long, 30. 4 right. Into 6 left of a crest, extra long, tightens 3 of a crest. Into cut, 3 right long, opens 6 of a crest, 30.
I know people would say like this game was like crazy hard, and I'm like, I got through some races in this game. It's just that I don't care for like rally racing, but I'm like, nah, there's just no other racing games that's like fun. So I'm like, nah, let me go ahead and get into rally racing.
For left of a crest, into cut for right long, into cut 5 left. Slow 30, turn cut 4 left, into hip and right.
But I'm like, I'm like, nah, I can't have like no passenger guy in my car like saying like crevice left and all this other crap.
6 left.
I'm like, bro, I'm gonna have to ask you to just be quiet for the remainder of the ride. It's like, you could be in the car, it's like, listen to the music, do what you want to do, but I'm like, all that talking, you're just gonna have to stop.
30.
Brushing your cat's teeth. I don't even get that.
4 right of a crest long, into 4 left long of a crest, 100.
It's like, I don't know, maybe I gotta own the cat, but I just feel like a cat wouldn't like that. He's just like, what is this human doing to me? She chews on it. Yeah, that, okay, I see the commercials. I thought you had like a full-on toothbrush and had like the cat in the hold and was just like brushing its teeth. I'm like, fam. Like, cats ain't, you know, I just feel like any animals don't adapt to, like, stuff like that. It's like, if I was a cat and I'm like, you know, they doing some stuff like that to me, I'm like, hey, yo, what is this human doing to my teeth? Yeah, it's like I'm saying, like, cats are probably all like, what is this person doing? Oh, don't crash, don't crash. Okay, I'm good. What was that? Come on, bruh.
Turn unseen, 3 right long, opens of a crest, and crest 50. Crest, 4 left long, tightens don't cut, opens of a crest, into 6 left of a crests, 50. Crest and 5 left, into caution, 3 right, tightens of a crest, into slow, 5 left long of a crest, 30, turn unseen, 3 right long, tightens narrow, opens long of a crest, into caution narrow, 3 left of a crest, into 6 right, and 3 left long.
Still sleeping. Call her and scream in her ear. Scream as loud as you possibly can.
Tightens turn square left.
Nah, I'm playing. Or am I? No, I'm saying no. Do it. Do it. You ain't got nothing to lose. And if I did that, okay. So I'm saying like. It's okay, because it's Liz, so...
5 left of a jump, 30.
Like, call her, scream as loud as you possibly can, then hang up the phone so she can't respond. Okay, that's just doing too much, because she still gotta use that phone, so...
50 of a crest, 6 left. Into 5.
So you honestly have nothing to lose.
50. 4 right of a jumps into don't cut, 4 left long. Opens of a crest, 30, turn late, hairpin left. And flat, 6 right long.
Come on, bruh.
130.
Wait, what? Am I red or am I black?
6 right over finish.
I'm so confused. I think I'm supposed to be red. Yeah, I'm red. My fault. My fault.
Stage finished. Well done.
Probably gonna play this one last race and go ahead call it a day with this stream.
Into 6 right of a crest jump. Good luck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. 6 left, extra long. Keep in of a crest. Into 6 right of a crest jump. 100 of a crest.
So pretty much that guy's just a GPS, like.
Opens 100.
That's at the end of the day, that's what he is. He's a GPS. That'd be a horrible job to have. Like, you can't even have fun. You can't even be the driver. You're the passenger.
Right. Extra long of a crest. 50. Keep middle of a crest.
I would not take that job.
Into 6 left long. Keep in of a crest.
It's like, do we at least like take turns? It's on iFunny back in the day when it was popular. I remember that app. I think people still use it till this day.
Unseen, hairpin right, don't cut. Opens of a crest, 50. 4 left long, 30.
It's like I think mine's is like when I got 3 million views on that TikTok video.
Big jump. 80.
To highlight my content creating career.
Middle of a jumps into 6 right. Into slow, 5 left long of a crest, tightens 3 over very narrow bridge. Into 4 left long.
Come on,
Opens
bruh.
30.
Ain't like no off-road tires on this car. I ain't even gonna respond to that because I've said numerous times, like,
100.
you had to get kicked out my car. I'm trying to race and you over there smoking weed inside the car.
50. Keep left of a jump. 50. 6 left, opens of a crest, into 4 right tightens. Into 5 left long, opens 50. Caution crest and 3 right tightens. Into don't cut, 3 left long. Into 6 right and 6 left. 50. Cut, 5 right, into 6 left long, over crest tightens. 30. Keep middle of a jump. Into 5 right long, tightens 4 long. Opens 50. 4 right of a crest, opens, keep middle of a crest, into 5 left. Opens of a crest, into 4 left of a crest, 150, 4 left, 50, 4 left, into 3 right, caution.
It's like, what does that mean? 4 left to 3 right. What is that? I'm like, bruh.
Into 3 left. Opens long.
You're gonna have to stop speaking Ford Mustang and speak English.
200. 6 right, opens of a big jump.
Been lost this whole time. I'm saying rally racing is so confusing. I'm like, bro, just say like, okay, just go left slightly. And you're gonna have to make a sharp left. This man's saying 4 left to the 2 right. I'm like, that makes no sense.
120. Slow turn, tight hairpin right, don't cut. 80. Turn unseen, tight hairpin left. 80.
Bro, they is not clear with these turns. Oh my god, man.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 6 left, extra long.
Like, how about we race during the day? I can actually see where I'm going. I just sit, listen to music, or read the directions. I listen to music, or I'm napping.
Keep in of a crest, into 6 right of a crest, jump.
Well, I'm probably doing both.
100 of a crest, turn unseen, 2 left. Opens 100. 6 left, 160. 4 right, extra long of a crest, 50. Keep middle of a crest. Into 6 left long, keep in of a crest. Into 6 right. Slow 70, turn unseen, hairpin right, don't cut. Opens of a crest, 50. 4 left long, 30. Keep right of a big jump.
My scrub mommy is looking rough. She's gone through it. I don't know how to respond to that.
80.
That's like one of those messages you send to somebody and be like, oh, my fault, wrong person.
Into 6 right. Into slow, 5 left long over crest, tightens 3 over very narrow bridge. Into 4 left long, opens 30.
It's basically a scrub. I'm still confused.
4 right long, opens over crest, 100. Over crest, sudden, 4 left.
It's a spine. Oh. Well, I mean, I'm saying like I don't know what a scrub mommy and a scrub daddy is. I'm like, I know what a sponge is. I'm like, I've never heard nobody refer to it as that.
6 left, opens over crest.
I thought you were talking about like the doctor clothes or something. I was just all like, what?
Into 5 left
I'm like, so wait a minute, is your...
opens 50.
I was so confused.
Caution.
The braces side and the sponge side. Oh, okay. That's the... Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I just get a sponge. I'm gonna be paying stuff like that. I don't pay attention to the names. I'm like, that stuff be like, I just go ahead and just get it.
Into don't cut, 3 left long. Into 6 right. And 6 left. 50.
I've been working in the store. Somebody walked up on me and be like, do you have a scrub mommy or a scrub daddy? I'm like, I don't know what that means, but it's like usually like hospitals got scrubs. Like
Middle of a jump.
they're like, no, like a scrub like for dishes. I'm like, I don't care what you do with the clothes, bruh. Like you just there's like some outfits over there that kind of look like scrubs, but
4 right of a crest, opens, keep middle of a crest.
like no, it's a sponge. I'm like, so the clothes are a sponge. I'm like, well, it's still, there's the clothing section. There might be some stuff over there with that name, but I don't know what that is.
150. 4 left. 50.
Don't call me mom. Yeah, I've been like, I'm like, look, bruh. I'm like, I'm not even, like, we look about the same age.
4 left.
I'm not your parent, mom or dad.
Caution.
And the scrubs is, you look, those are the clothes. Like, that's all we got.
Into 3 left.
You're like, no, the sponge. I'm like, okay, but still, like,
over 200.
I guess I'm supposed to be. I'm like, but still, bro, I'm like, I'm lost in this conversation. I'm like, dude, we're gonna have to redo this because I don't know what you're talking about.
80.
Then another person would have walked up, been like, hey, where are the sponges at? Oh, aisle 7. He's like, that's what I was asking for. I'm like, nah, you came up to me speaking Starbucks. I'm like,
slow turn, tight tape in right, don't cut. 80. Turn unseen, tight tape in left.
he's like, I'd like to see your manager. I'm like, all right. I spun around, been like, I'm the manager. What's up?
6 left, 50. 6 right of a crest jump, 50. 4 right long of a finish, into 6 left long to stop.
I'm good. I ain't crash. Just trying to win the race.
You just did the fastest time in that stage.
The question is that I win though? Solo. Is that like the end of the series, or is there like more to it? Stage without damaging your car. There we go. I like how they all like, didn't damage my car, but the car body work. This part would not be repaired. You get a penalty just for, I'm like, bruh, we shouldn't be racing out in the middle of the woods. Like, find like a desert, sir, where you can race at. That doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, don't go and damage your car. Then you get a penalty if it takes too much time. I'm like, well, how about we race in the area where there ain't trees surrounding the whole place? That doesn't make any sense, but... Anyways, I'm going to go ahead call it a day with this stream. Until next time, I will talk to everybody later. Probably either we'll be playing Dirt Rally or Mass Effect. I might end up playing Mass Effect tonight because I did say I was going to play it. And I didn't. Well, I played a little bit of it, but no problem. No problem with you. But till next time, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you to everybody that tuned in today. Stay tuned for the next stream, and peace.